The year was 1274. Winter had swallowed the valley. Snow covered the rooftops, the trees, the roads, everything except the training ground. Before the first rays of sunlight touched the mountains, a lone knight was already there. His armor gleamed beneath the pale morning sky. His sword hung perfectly polished at his side. Not a single scratch, not a single dent. It looked untouched. Every villager believed the same thing. One day, he'll become the greatest knight this kingdom has ever seen. He believed it too. Every night before sleep, he imagined the battles he would win, the people he would save, the kingdom he would protect. He could already see the legends being written about him. There was only one problem. His sword had never tasted battle. Every morning, he whispered the same words. Today I begin. Today I train harder. Today I finally become the man I've imagined. But by sunset, something always changed. A better technique to study, a sharper blade to forge, a wiser strategy to learn, a reason that sounded perfectly reasonable. Tomorrow would simply be a better day to begin. Tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Weeks became months. Months became years. His armor became more beautiful. His sword became sharper. His dreams became larger. But his footsteps never left the training ground. Then one cold morning, a rider entered the village. His horse limped. His armor was cracked. His shield was split in half. His sword was chipped beyond repair. He looked nothing like the stories people admired. Yet as he passed, every knight lowered their head. Even the king stood to greet him. The young knight watched in silence. He looked at the rider's ruined sword, then at his own flawless one. For the first time in his life, he wondered if perfection had cost him everything. If that story feels familiar, it's because it isn't really about a knight. It's about us. Most people think they procrastinate because they're lazy. But laziness is one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves. Think about it. Lazy people don't spend hours planning their future. They don't fill notebooks with ideas. They don't watch productivity videos at 2 in the morning. They don't imagine businesses they'll build, books they'll write, or the person they'll one day become. People with ambition do. And that's exactly what makes this trap so dangerous. Because from the outside, it looks like you're doing nothing. But inside your mind, it feels like you're making progress. The young knight believed he was becoming stronger every single day. He polished his sword, studied battle maps, perfected his armor, everything except fighting. And that's exactly what our brains do. They quietly replace uncomfortable progress with comfortable preparation. That night, the young knight didn't dream of glory. For the first time, he couldn't. He sat alone beside the fire. His polished sword rested against the wall. His armor reflected the flames just as beautifully as it always had. Nothing had changed, except him. The next morning, he didn't polish the sword. He picked it up. The steel felt heavier than he remembered. Not because it had changed, but because excuses had become easier to carry than it. He walked past the armory, past the training grounds, past the place where he had spent years preparing to become someone he never became. And for the first time, he left through the village gates. The road beyond them wasn't glorious. There were no cheering crowds, no heroic music, no legendary battle waiting over the next hill. Just uncertainty, just silence, just one step, followed by another. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. His armor slowly lost its shine. His sword gathered scratches. His hands became rough. The man who once feared ruining his perfect blade now smiled every time another mark appeared across its steel, because every scar meant something his polished sword never could. It had been used, And something strange began to happen. The dreams that once filled his nights slowly disappeared, not because he had stopped believing in them, but because every day he was living a small piece of them.